Hey guys, so this video is being recorded during the long maintenance in preparation of the update. I think it's 2.9.0 that is coming out tonight. So this video is coming out prior to that update actually going live, and I wanted to take this opportunity to just talk about the state of the game and a few topics that I want to just cover in terms of what I think the game could be doing better and things the game just isn't doing well. Now, I've done a video discussing the anniversary and my thoughts on the anniversary as a whole, and this was about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago I put this video out, so I'm not going to talk too much about the anniversary specifically in this video. So if you want to know my thoughts on the anniversary, you can feel free to check out that other video I posted. It's about a 35-minute long video. This video is not going to be nearly as long as that one. But there's about 5 topics that I do want to discuss here. So we'll go ahead and start with probably what I consider the most, second most prominent issue that I run into, just being the type of player that I am, which is various PvP issues. There's a lot of issues, obviously, in PvP if you guys play PvP. I know some of you probably don't even play PvP. You just enjoy watching the game, or you just are strictly PvE player because you don't want to deal with a lot of the issues, which is... honestly, that's a problem in itself, that people are they're driven away from the game mode because of the fact that there's so many problems with it. But we'll start with lag. Now, the issue with lag, they definitely understand that there's a lag problem. And I've talked about this in a prior video with Bebop, where that video was mainly talking about the differences between playing the game outside of Japan versus inside of Japan. The game was clearly designed to be marketed towards the Japanese audience. And if you guys watch any Japanese YouTubers, any streams of Japanese people playing the game, there is very, very minimal amounts of lag when they play PvP. Which is certainly not the case with people who play PvP, let's just say, in the United States, in Canada, in Europe, anywhere else. Just the way the game was designed, I guess the infrastructure of Japan is just more well-suited for a game like this. And they had that in mind when they designed the game. So unfortunately, everybody else got the short end of the stick when that infrastructure was realized, and they definitely understand there's a problem, but I don't know how feasible it actually is for them to be able to fix that problem. But it definitely is annoying because it takes a lot of the enjoyment away from PvP. So I don't know if they're going to actually be able to fix that or not. It might be something that's just out of their hands technology-wise. They definitely have addressed it before in the newsletter, so we'll see if they go back to that. Next is matchmaking. Okay, so... this kind of ties in with the next point that I have, which is the whole 3x RP, 2x RP even. I think they understand that people don't like 3x RP in PvP, and this season is an example of that, I think, because this was like the second anniversary season. We had the first one a few weeks ago that was 3x RP, this one is 2x RP. So they were like, oh, people don't like 3x RP? Okay, let's make it 2x. It's like, no, it's the same. You're going to run into the same issues. And frankly, you're going to run into the same issues even without any bonus RP. Just due to the fact that if you're somebody who's playing a lot and you're trying to rank up, and this affects both sides too. So if you're somebody who's playing a lot, and let's say you have, 14,000 RP, most of your matches are going to be playing against people who have like half of your RP. And it's not fair for both ends. The person who's higher RP is basically going to get no reward for that match. And the person who's, on the lower end, at 6,000 RP, they're going to, have a much harder time playing because it's just not a fair matchup. And in terms of geography, too, I feel like there's a lot of issues there. I get matched up with a lot of people from South America, which makes almost no sense. I don't know how that's even possible. Because even if their internet connection is very good, it's just not possible to have a seamless game with somebody who lives that far, or somebody who's that far away in terms of proximity. So that's definitely an issue that needs to be addressed. And the last sort of thing I want to talk about in regards to PvP is balance. Okay, so I think the major issue, and this is something that has been going on for a long time, ever since the game pretty much released. I feel like they haven't really nailed the entire balance concept in this game. There was one point in time, I can't remember when this was exactly, but I remember there being one point in time where there actually was a fairly good amount of balance in PvP, and a lot of teams were viable and people were having a good time, and that was a really good time to be playing the game, but that's a rare occurrence. Most of the times, what they have done is they've like laser focused in on tags to buff, and those tags obviously then become insanely OP, and they rule the game for a long time. Early back in the, I think the first few months of the game, we had androids, then we had movies come along, and females were really good because that tag didn't exist, and they released like 7 female characters at the same time. Then we had regen come into the playing field. Then we had fusions finally during the first year anniversary. Then we shifted over into movies again, then regen again, and now we have this basically triumvirate of God Key, Future, and Fusions, which are pretty much all the same team, since God forbid they buff different tags, right? So, I don't know. I feel like balance is definitely a huge issue, especially when they release Vegeta Blue and then they go ahead and release like a million red units back to back to back to back to back to back, and it's like, okay, well, I simply can't use these guys, right? I can't use them right now. And that's not to say they can't release red units, because they definitely could. They're not going to stop releasing red units, but why so many? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, sure, go ahead and release Goku. But why release Pycon and Hit, who are literally just, they can never be used, ever. So, I don't understand that at all. So that's pretty much my mini rant on the PvP topic. Next, we'll move into just the modes of this game. And the overarching problem that I have with the modes is that they just simply aren't fun. Now, that's obviously very subjective to me, so many of you guys might think otherwise. Some of you might enjoy playing some modes like co-op, stuff like that. I don't really get enjoyment out of playing those modes, just simply because of the fact that the way the AI interacts and behaves in combat is just very unfun to me. A lot of perfect vanishing going on, a lot of things you can't control. You can't play around certain things that they're doing. You know, like pretty much the instant you tap on a card, they'll Rising Rush you. There's no way to play around that. So I feel like in that regard, it just inherently makes a lot of the PvE content in this game very just bland and boring. So we'll go through some of the events here, and I'll just give some of my thoughts on them. So co-op, we'll start with co-op. Now co-op I think is a good idea. It's a good idea for the game. It can be fun. If you play with a friend, I feel like that's one of the highlights of the game, honestly. Playing with a friend, you know it's good connection, you know you have a strategy devised between you guys, and there's like some sort of chemistry going on between the two players. That's the best way to play co-op. But once you start getting into like playing with random people and stuff, there's just a lot of annoyances like lag, people DCing, the boss can just Rising Rush you and kill you, and then you're just sitting there tapping the screen for like 2 minutes. And the biggest thing for me is like there's so many people that who DC in this mode that it baffles me that they don't have a bot take over for them. And we've already seen through the raid mode, which by the way is another catastrophe, that they actually do have the technology to add a bot to PV or to co-op to take over for somebody if they DC. So I don't understand why that's not in the game yet. It would save a lot of headaches for people who get really frustrated over people DCing in co-op. So I don't know. There's a lot of things they can do with co-op. I remember when they introduced the mode, like the first day on like the video and stuff, they were talking about, oh yeah, we're going to introduce like special characters who are going to be able to do combo attacks in co-op and like all this cool stuff. And like here we are, almost 8 months later. Like where is any of this stuff? I don't know. So next we have Ultra Space Time Rush. Does anybody even play this mode? Do people just like? I play the mode, but the way I play it is I just auto the whole thing. Like I don't even control my characters the whole time. It's literally like it's you know what it is? It's a glorified adventure, is what it is. Because the whole goal of Ultra Space Time Rush is it tries to get you to log into the game and keep you in the game for an extended period of time to complete all the stages. That's exactly what adventures do. So I guess they don't care if you just auto through the entire thing. As long as you're logged into the game, that's their goal for that mode. I have no idea. It's probably the worst mode in the game. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem fun at all. And then the last thing I just want to talk about briefly are the 50 stage events. They usually end up giving 1,000 crystals. Now, this sort of ties into the main theme about all these PvE modes in Legends, is that would you guys be playing these modes if they didn't offer rewards? And I think for me, the answer is almost certainly no. Like, would I just jump into one of the 50 stage events if just for fun, if there was no reward? Like, let's say you guys complete the 50 stage event for Zamasu that's coming up after this maintenance, and you get the 1,000 crystals, and you're completely done with the event. For fun, would you then go back in and clear the event one more time? I almost would say nobody would do that. There's no way. And so I think the way that they sort of get people to play these events is they just attach really good rewards to them. And basically forcing people to play these events just because of the rewards, I feel like isn't a good model, because it just says that your game is not fun to play, right? I don't know. That's just my perspective on it. You guys let me know what you think. Okay, so I have a few more here. The next thing is going to be the whole concept of 2 steps forward, one step backward. And this is a lot of stuff I talked about in my anniversary video, so I'm just going to go through this a little bit quicker. Zenkai improvements, but remove missions. So they definitely improved the way that Zenkai summoning is done. But they went ahead and removed the missions for whatever reason. So obviously, I would say the Zenkai summon improvements are obviously a very good thing, but then they just removed the missions for who knows what reason, and that just makes the whole thing bad, in my opinion. The Super Warrior event is a direct copy of the Ginyu Force event last year, which was way better than this. I don't know why because they advertised the Super Warrior event that was coming in the newsletter, and I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be a really good event, because that Ginyu Force event last year was really, really good. Probably one of the highlights of the anniversary last year. And then this event comes out, and they give you like 3 units, not even a full team. So I don't know. It was just weird. Back when Kid Goku got his Zenkai Awakening, he released during a 3 times RP season. So a lot of people who were grinding RP didn't even have time to grind Kid Goku, and vice versa. If you were grinding Kid Goku, you didn't have time to play PvP, you didn't have time to get the rewards. It was like, okay, what do I do? I have to choose one of these things to do. They're both time limited. So I feel like that was kind of like just a poorly scheduled portion of events there. And then we can even go back to the video and stuff. Back the last one they did, I think it was back in like February or March, where they were talking about the guild update. So that's been about 4 months. Where is it? Any updates? We just had a newsletter. You know, you could talk about the guild update in the newsletter. All you have to do is say, hey, we understand you guys are looking forward to this update we talked about in our video 4 months ago. Rest assured it is being worked on. We will give you more updates shortly when we are ready. That's it. That's all you have to say. But instead they say nothing. So is it coming? Did you scrap it? Like, what's going on? Give us some semblance of information. I mean, and then the Legends Limited Z-Power thing too is kind of like a joke also, because how long does it take to just design a Legends Limited Z-Power? You have other Z-Power in the game. You talked about this back in December, 8 months ago. Like, in the newsletter they were like, oh, we're still designing the Legends Limited Z-Power. Yeah, that's great. Like, why is it taking so long? I don't understand. And then this next topic is something that people actually don't ever really talk about but me. I feel like I'm the only person who's actually talking about this. And it's characters not returning frequently enough on banners. And if you want to directly compare Legends to Dokkan is very bad when it comes to this. There's been cases of characters not returning on banners for a year straight. But this is a different game, because this is a PvP game. You need to have access to, well, not access to, but a chance at getting these characters for your teams. Otherwise, your teams are just going to be subpar for months and months and months. So right now, the unit that's on everybody's mind is Yellow Vegito. Like, he released once, and that's the only banner he's ever been on. He released back in like March. Same with Broly and Chile, but I think Broly and Chile is probably a little bit less desired than transforming Super Vegito is. There's a lot of offenders to this problem. Like Android 21 was a big one. She came back on the PyCon and Super Kaioken Goku banner, but prior to that, she hadn't been back since February. That was her initial banner. It's been like 3, 4, 5 months. Okay, then we have God Goku and Vegeta, who were released on the transforming God Vegeta and the purple God Goku, who were released on like probably one of the worst banners ever. The Legends Rising banner back, I don't remember when that was. It was like in January-ish. I don't remember. It might have been even earlier than that. It might have been last year, honestly. But they didn't come back until this anniversary. They came back for the first time like this anniversary on like the filler banners, who nobody was going to summon on anyway. Okay, where like, and then we have a few that are still in limbo currently. Like, where is the Saiyan Saga Blue Goku support unit, who's really good? Even Raditz, who's a really good bench for Saiyans. Like, he's not that good in battle, but as a bench unit, he's really good. That would help out people's teams. Like, they came out in March. Where are they? You could even say the same thing for like Kakunsa and Rosie. Rosie, I don't think has ever been featured on a banner since her release, like almost a year ago now. Kakunsa came back on Android 21's banner featured, so she's been at least on one banner. But I don't think, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Rosie has returned since her initial release on a featured banner, so a 1% pull rate. And then you can even extend this too to event characters, like where's Nappa? Like, how long is it? I think he came out in October, and he hasn't been back yet. You can't even soul boost him, so like, what's the point of using him? You can't. And then up until now, Baseball Yamcha hadn't returned in like over a year. So I don't know why they're like intentionally hiding these characters while they release like the same trash featured units on every single banner. It's like, how many times are you going to release like purple Goku Black on these banners? Like, he's been on like 50 banners. Like, it's enough. Okay, and then the last thing I want to talk about quickly, now I think this is actually probably, I said in the beginning that I think PvP issues is the second most important thing. I think this is probably the most important topic that I saved for last year, and it's lack of vision. I feel like there is this just a substantial lack of vision that this game has, and a lot of that boils down to them being inconsistent with a lot of the changes that they're making. And a lot of the changes that they make, I feel like they're just changing things for the sake of changing them. And I don't really know if they have an end goal in mind. Like, obviously they want people to have fun. That's their end goal. It's a game, right? The goal is also to make money, unfortunately, because that's what a business is. But in terms of like what they want to achieve in their environment of their game, I don't think they have like an ultimate vision for what they want to achieve there. We can just look at some of the things they did. We talked about this already, the Ginyu Force event for Super Warriors coming back. It's just, they changed it for no reason, made it worse. I don't understand. The Zenkai system and Zenkai Souls / methods of obtaining them have all changed a bunch of times. It just seems like they don't really know what they're doing. They changed the battle system a bunch of times, which I actually don't think is that bad of a thing to do. If you think the battle system is not working, go ahead and change it. I think that's a good thing, but don't change it so much that it's like every 2 months is a new system. So I think mainly the issue with that is tackle. I've definitely voiced my opinions on tackle before. I think tackle is pretty much a useless mechanic in the game, and they just keep trying to push it and push it and push it, and it just doesn't work. Time gating events is getting worse than it was before. It used to never be like over a week where you had to wait. Now it's, you look at the Super Warrior event, it literally made you wait like a week to access like some of the stages in there. It just doesn't make any sense. And I'm going to leave you guys with this one final point that I have, which is, I don't, like, a lot of the times it honestly feels as if they're specifically going out of their way to make the game worse. Like, there's just no way human beings sat down in the room, in the whatever office they have, made some of the changes that I discussed already, and thought that it would actually help the game. There's no way they sat down and were like, okay, we have this really amazing Ginyu Force event that we released last year. Let's go ahead, we'll cut the amount of units we're giving out in half, and we'll make the event just way worse. That'll be really good for the game. Like, I don't know. Are they intentionally making the game worse? I don't think so. I would hope not. But that's what it feels like to me. A lot of these issues that I talked about today, they're not super difficult to change. They're just simple. Like, I don't know. Some of these things obviously are going to take a lot of time to get better, like the PvP issues I think are going to take a lot of technological improvements, if that's even possible. I don't even know if it is. So I don't know. I hope that somebody that's a part of the Legends team is watching this video. But that's pretty much all I have for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know down below if you guys have any suggestions, things you'd like to see the game do differently. I'm sure a lot of people are disgruntled right now because, again, coming out of this anniversary, that was definitely subpar. The spirits aren't really exactly super high right now for a lot of people, so I appreciate you guys checking this out anyway, and not going to stop doing content on the game, so don't think I am. So, we'll see you guys all in the next one.